another beautiful, great day here at Spirit Quest. And I thought that I would make a video about a very cunning and difficult topic called self-sabotage. Self-sabotage can show up in a whole myriad of ways in your life. It's a very cunning aspect of our mind or our ego state. And it can show up in a whole variety of different ways. It can show up in procrastinating, putting things off, limiting beliefs, negative self-talk, really reaffirming to yourself that you're not good enough, you're not able, you're not capable. And so you actively sabotage those good things in your life that would help to really spur growth in your life. But those things are easier to identify. One aspect I want to really touch on are the pieces that are not necessarily seen. This is where you've had trauma, you've had betrayal, you've had hurt, disappointment, grief, pain, struggle. Maybe that's all you know. And you start this cycle of self-loathing. It's a deep, deep, powerful self-loathing that is very palpable. And it's in your bones, it's in your blood, it's in your light body, it's in your aura, it's in every part of your being. One could even say maybe it's even ancestral or even, a karmic thing. But regardless, it's there, it exists. And no matter what you do counseling, healing sessions, you can't seem to break these cycles when what you're seeing on the outside of your life are things like dysfunction, toxicity. You attract in people who are wearing many different forms of masks. So you think, oh, they're your best friend, and then it turns out they're actually your worst enemy. You get in relationship with somebody and you think they're the love of your life, and then it turns out to be that they're the absolute worst arch nemesis of your life. It's like all these people in masks and masquerading, and you keep getting hurt, you keep getting scammed, you keep getting betrayed and led astray, and it's so painful because you have this beautiful, sweet, innocent soul and so sensitive, and you have all this beauty, but you keep attracting in this toxicity. And it can be really frustrating because you don't think cognitively. I'm not trying to sabotage myself. I think I like myself. I hope I like myself. But there's something deeper occurring in these contracts or in these deeper, the underbelly. Sometimes I like to think of things in metaphor because it helps to kind of give some objectivity to it. And sometimes they even seem like tentacles. Tentacles that are going out, and what are they searching for? They're looking for more of the chaos to bring back in to your field, to your life, so that you can try to evolve through that. It's always a reflection of ourselves, and I know that's really difficult to hear, but it gives us some power. It gives us some freedom if we can take full ownership over these things, where it's like, okay, these are mine. As dysfunctional and as painful and as dark and as painful as this is, I can take ownership of this because this is my life and I've chosen this. So let's take a look, objective spiritual look at what these tentacles are trying to bring in. And if we can look at it from a perspective of growth and learning, it's not about, oh, I need to shut myself off to others. You can't trust others. I just have my picker's broken. I hear that a lot. No, it's all a reflection as to how you treat yourself, how you see yourself, and what you think you deserve. It's really about having blockages around self-esteem, self-worth, self-actualization, self-realization, manifestation. Who you are in your place here really is dependent on, I think, your life's purpose, your life's mission. You were given a certain set of gifts in order to evolve, grow, impact humanity, inspire humanity, hopefully bring in some light and help there to be a catharsis and evolution of our human condition. But lots of times we get stuck with a lot of, we get dealt a hand because there's a lot of different factors of things that are passed down, different things that were learned, different things that are passed down, and then of course the trauma that we go through. So, self-sabotage can show up in addiction. It can show up in, blowing up relationships. Let's say you actually do attract in someone that's actually, reflective of your highest and best good and doesn't have any sneaky tentacles themselves. But you sabotage that because you just can't trust it. You can't believe it's real. Or you get a job and all of a sudden there's these people that are constant. You've got this victim mentality is also a form of self-sabotage, because being the victim is taking your power away. It's giving your power to all these other people, places, and things. Same thing with self-sabotage, is that it gives your power away to all these different things. Procrastinating is giving your power away to these different things. You have to claim your life and claim that you are not going to be the arch nemesis of your own life. You want to be your most and best beloved. You want to be the person who's really being the cheerleader and able to take your power to cut those tentacles, open those eyes, the eyes that see outward and the eyes that see inward, and do that deep and real and raw self-inquiry that it takes to really understand, wow, I'm drawing in this person that's showing me that I can't trust. I keep seeing that I'm not able to trust. I keep getting hurt. Well, could that be a reflection of how I don't trust God, and I don't trust myself, and I don't trust my life path, my purpose. I don't trust my voice. I don't trust my intuition. I don't trust my ability to be able to supersede these earthly things, this earthly bondage. It's a daily reminder to constantly have our eyes, we have to have our eyes open and be doing the work constantly to examine these old patterns, because they can be really tricky. And it is so frustrating when you think that you've gone through this whole process of healing and growth, and you think that you've gotten through all that and you've learned that lesson and you're done with that dysfunction. And then all of a sudden here comes another scenario, same scenario, different masks. And lots of times what happens is that if you don't fully understand the lesson, you don't get it, you don't evolve, you don't fully clear it and heal it through your system, it'll ramp up. The next time around, there are these cycles. They're cyclical. So the next time that it comes up, it'll ramp up even at a higher, more extreme, power. So that means the pain's going to be worse. It's going to be the push down to the rock bottom's going to be even deeper and darker. You might lose a lot more this time. And why does that happen? It happens because we are supposed to be evolving as humans. If you don't get the lesson and you keep doing it again, you keep self-abandoning, you leave yourself for these people, you completely detach and escape into these other people, into these relationships. You are constantly looking outside for validation. You're looking outside for validation. That means that you're self-abandoning. You're leaving self, looking for something else. That's constantly going to leave a void inside yourself where you're feeling like something's missing because you're leaving yourself behind. If you're not grasping the lesson of self-abandonment, then you're going to start attracting people who are going to abandon you in bigger and worse ways each and every time. So that hopefully those rock bottoms, as hard as they are, the suffering is so real, believe me, I know. They can almost take your life because they're so painful. Those rock bottoms are really what's meant to get us on our knees and our ego to finally say, time out. I need help. I can't do this. I need to let go of the control to think that I know what's going on and that I can make a difference. Or you can make a difference, excuse me, but that you're fully in control, because you're not. You're not fully in control. God needs to be in control at all times. And help you to let go and get out of this state of judgment, this state of all these patterns and critiques and limitations that our mind is an organ. This brain that lives inside your skull is an organ, just like your liver. Now, if your liver was, if you were that tapped in that you could hear what your liver was saying, would you believe everything that the liver is saying? it's, I know that's maybe not the best way to describe it, but if you look at your brain, we give our brains and our thoughts just way, way, way too much power. We believe, and it's cunning. We believe these old things. Sometimes our beliefs are not even our own. So we're having all these feelings and this emotional reaction to something that's not even real. But yeah, try to watch the Self-Sabotage. I'll list in the description different ways self-sabotage can come through, and then different tools that you can use to try to really help get yourself out of that state. And you can start really watching the things that are being brought into your field and brought into your life, so that you can stop old patterns, and that you can start some incredible patterns of really having the life that you deserve, because you're an active participant in your life. These aren't passive things. These are things that you're supposed to look down and be able to see those tentacles and say, holy smokes, I don't want to do that anymore. This is old karma, old bondage from my mom. This is old karma, old bondage from the time that I got abused when I was little in elementary school. Actually, that probably has like 10 tentacles. Over there, that's an old tentacle from whatever, that relationship, that hurt, that pain, even the collective tentacles. We have a lot of, we're connected into our collective. So when there's a lot of pain and hurt and destruction and disappointment, it's going to come in and we're going to feel it. And so we have to do the work to stay in the light. We have to do the work to bring the light into our field. It can't just be something that we think about, oh, love and light, guys. I'm thinking about love and light, and I'm saying my positive affirmations. It cannot be just that. It is not just that. We bypass so much of the body when we do that. We need to do the deep and like guttural work, the work of clearing our core wounds. And that means taking radical ownership. And I'm not coming from a place of saying that abuse is something that was self-actualized or like a karma that you brought in, but we have to take, at some point, we have to take full ownership over our lives, because that gives us the power to change it. It's always about reclaiming our power. Addiction is all about giving our power away. Toxic relationships is giving our power away. Hate, even suicidal ideation, those things, we give our power away to this idea, this concept of a thought of wanting to escape and leave. And it's all different forms of self-abandonment. How can I leave myself today? In what forms can I leave myself today? Maybe I can just work 1,000 hours, and so I really don't have to sit and be with Jess. Maybe I can sit and fixate and ruminate. Ooh, yes, I love to ruminate. Let's sit and fixate and think of all these variables and all these what ifs that probably never happen, is not happening. But I'm going to think about them so much that I probably will make them happen, because the power of my energy when it's all paired together, it's you're an active participant, and you're co-creating your reality. You're co-creating, your future. And so watch those areas where you self-abandon, watch those areas of the self-sabotage, and I'll put some tools in that have really helped me. And it's really the basis of self-love. It really is at the core basis of all of it, of really shedding away all those layers of the the falsities, the false identity, the false body, the false ideas, the false beliefs, the false junk that we pick up all throughout our days. Releasing all of that, so that you have a really incredible relationship with your pure and true and raw essence. That is you. That is a light body. That is pure love. And that needs to be seen and nourished and cared for each and every day. Not this exterior thing, not this body. Of course, we need to take care of our bodies. I don't mean that. I just mean it from an aesthetic, like more of a vapid point of like taking care of ourselves. This is really taking care of who we are intrinsically, so that we can really love, honor, and cherish and believe in ourselves, and know that we are worth so much more than we could ever even imagine, and that we are meant for really powerful, incredible things, and that our lives are very deeply important, and that the whole reason why we're here is to utilize our gifts, to actualize our spiritual gifts, to be able to help humanity, and stopping anything that really blocks that growth, and really being your best advocate. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you have a really incredible day.